Hello, my name's Josh Kiesler.
I'm Jordan Hart.
Can I introduce myself?
I'm Colin Hart.
And I, for the first time, am Erik Hall.
Screwing things up already.
And, and this is WUBRG Weekly. So first off, we have a new addition to
Can I
our...
introduce myself? I'm Erik Average Joe Hallbaugh.
No.
Okay, back
You
to
get
you.
one chance to make a person.
Back to you. Back to you, Goose.
This is why we don't invite him that often. Anyways, so... so we have a new member to our crew, Erik, and he's going to tell you... He's going to tell you a little about himself, as we did last week. So, Erik, tell us about yourself.
Well, I got into Magic, playing around with some friends. That's pretty much what I do. I play fun Magic. I play less competitively than these guys. They are more skilled Magic players and more skilled deck builders. I'm in it for the fun. I play silly things. And beats.
He
Beat
sees...
sticks, big green creatures, and Eldrazi. That's my stuff.
Beats.
And dragons. Back to you, Goose.
Okay, cool. So that's Erik. He will join us once in a while.
Back to you.
And he will just give some opinions, like non-competitive opinions of certain cards when we do set reviews and just general ideas that he sees.
Yeah, just like we overthink things a lot, and I feel like Erik would just give us a good understanding from someone who doesn't overthink things, like the average person, what they think. So more like what most of our viewers probably are thinking. So.
Yes. Well, kind of like
I'm
a
average
Timmy, right?
Yeah, Timmy.
Timmy? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a Timmy.
Average Joe.
Average
No,
Joe.
I like Timmy's, because Timmy's the magic thing now. Timmy's are the magic people who just go, big creatures, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Right.
Like our Timmy. Me.
Big art Timmy.
Pretty much.
But
Yeah.
Timmy's a magic thing established by
Yeah, that's him.
Mark
But
Rose.
I'm Timmy now.
That's
Okay,
Timmy.
continue.
Continuing.
Anyways, so we don't have as much to talk about this week as we did last week.
Thank goodness.
Yes,
Thank
because
goodness.
the
I
last
heard it was long.
one was 3 hours.
3 hours and 30-some seconds. That's a long one.
Yeah.
Those of you that made it through that gauntlet, kudos.
Thank you.
Considering we haven't put it up yet, they probably...
Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know I did.
And if you're watching live,
I didn't watch it.
you can call in.
You can't. You
Yeah,
can't.
I mean, if you know our number.
Actually, don't call in. Just just try and message us on our post. Or
I'll
something.
get my phone.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that's a formal warning answer.
If you actually watch it, that's gonna be so funny.
That'd be great.
He says he's going to. So this past week we had one big tournament,
One big tournament, Star City Games Open Series in Baltimore.
which was a standard event.
Yeah, they do Standard and Legacy pretty much every week. Standard is what we're going to talk about mostly, because that's what most people play.
And I don't think it was anything from the Legacy side.
Yeah, Legacy is just kind of its own thing. But
Right. So this was the first big tournament since N15 came out. We saw some new additions to some cards. Some decks we didn't see any additions. So go on. You did some math on this.
yeah, I did looked at the metagame breakdown. You can find all this on scglive.com with their deck lists. Mind you, we have no affiliation with Star City Games. We just enjoy watching what they do. So in the top 32, we had Mono Black had 7 decks in there. One of them had green in it. The rest were just straight Mono Black. We had 6 Mono Blue aggro decks. Then we had 3 Burn decks, 3 Jund Monsters decks, 3 Black-White mid-range decks, and 2 Esper Control decks, 2 Green-Black decks, and a bunch of other decks that did really, really well. Notably speaking, I mean, the first thing you'll notice is that Blue and Black, the two of the main pillars of Standard, are still dominant.
Oh, yeah, and there's, like, no additions.
Yeah, like Urborg would go in Black, and Blue might get military intelligence.
Right.
That's about the only thing that would change between M15 and there. So
Which is kind of a letdown.
it was cool to see. It's kind of what we expected. I think what we wanted to see was a lot of innovation, and what we saw was the better decks kind of just getting better, and that's kind of what we expect to see.
It didn't get much better.
No,
they
no.
pretty much stayed the same.
No, but I mean, this reminds me. I watched a lecture. Richard Garfield did a lecture on. He's a creator of Magic. If you don't know, about two different types of people in Magic. There are the innovators and there are the honers. The innovators create new decks, and the honers actually take the decks that already exist and make them better. Right now, this past week, we saw a lot of honing, not a lot of innovating, and that's come to expect that because of all the honing that we've been doing over the past couple months with the decks that have established.
Right.
We did see some innovative decks. We saw a Slivers deck that it was at least 3-0. It was 3-0 at one time.
At one point, yeah. Who played that?
I forget his name. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember the face, but I can't.
Yeah. So Slivers was doing a pretty good job for a while. It probably ran into some control decks and probably
Just
ended
got
up. And control is
sure.
good at doing that, keeping things in check, keeping the not good decks. It's the fun police of the
fun police.
The fun police is Esper Control.
And that's why I don't like Esper Control.
Right.
While we're talking about this, I have to cut out for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, also notably, Mono Green was an established. Mono Green was already an established archetype, but it got a hold of some really good cards that made it really made it a lot better. Court of Calling being the main one.
Yeah, and then a lot of one-ofs.
A lot of they have the capacity now to play a lot of one-ofs because of Court of Calling.
Right.
To get the things that they need, stuff like Hornet Queen.
Which I think
Which is a fun card.
Hornet Queen is a good card.
I think when we all saw that card, we didn't think it was going to do much.
Yeah, I saw Hornet Queen. All I thought was I don't want to play against it, but then again, I didn't think it was that good.
Right. So we didn't think anyone was going to play it.
I thought it was just going to be an annoying thing, but quite frankly, I wouldn't mind playing it. Just for the same reason that I would want to annoy my opponent.
So we saw one deck when we were watching that was playing Mono Green, right?
Yeah.
And
Todd Anderson played Mono Green.
Yeah.
They also got Nissa.
Really,
we should throw that out there.
Oh yeah, Nissa.
And Nissa was a really important
yes.
card to add. To
Reclamation Sage.
Also.
Which is like a 1 or 2 of, just to destroy, artifacts or enchantments that are. Is it destroy artifact or enchantment?
Yeah, it's a naturalize on a stick. Yeah.
So, which is you can court for it.
Which is good, notably in not just standard but also modern with Birthing Pod.
Right.
Anything on a stick that does something when it enters.
Yeah.
Really good for Birthing Pod.
So that's gonna be interesting to see how the modern decks change. Do you have the next modern?
I know that Star City actually did a modern IQ as well.
Okay.
I didn't look at any of the deck lists. I probably should have. I still can right now.
That's fine.
But
Cool.
yeah, standard really. We can expect to see in the next three weeks or so, especially with the Pro Tour. There's going to be some innovation, maybe even from the innovator himself, Patrick Chapin, the Pro Tour. Maybe he'll innovate. Maybe he'll do something that we've never seen before. He usually does. Sometimes he comes out with something that people all seen before.
It seems like all the pros just keep all their innovations to themselves until they're really good innovations. I mean, you'll see pros post different things on Star City Games, on Channel Fireball, and different deck ideas to see for the new cards. But then they kind of hold back some of the stuff until they get to the Pro Tour. Like, okay, here's the deck I've actually been working on the whole time.
And we've seen a lot of cool stuff come from the pros. Like when they did spoilers. When they did spoilers, they actually we'll spoil this card and we'll talk about what I want to do with it. So there's been a lot of cool stuff already with the stuff they talked about. So.
I mean, Lepore did some cool stuff.
Ari Lax spoiled Court of Calling and talked about it for a little bit. The blue-red 5 deck, also the artifact blue-red deck. I want to see a little bit of that in the future. I think it's good.
The one card that I really was happy to see played, even though I don't think many people were in the mono green list, was the Genesis Hydra.
Yeah, Genesis Hydra. I didn't like it at first. I still kind of don't, but I could see the merit in playing it. Mono green is like the only deck that you can get a ton of mana, and we talked about it. At least I talked about it last week. That having a ton of mana allows you to do a lot more stuff that you normally couldn't do. Nykthos is just such a good card for that deck. It allows you to do that.
I forget who was doing the deck. Right, Todd Anderson. He was talking about, and it's like mana dumps. Just all he was talking about, like, okay, so we demand dump to this, we demand dump this, we demand dump into Court Calling, we demand dump into, Genesis Hydra, and then we get Plukernos to mana dump even more.
Yeah, I mean, I played mono green for a while, and my mana dumps usually went into like Nylia, Plukernos, stuff like that, and I had Hydra Broodmaster.
Yeah.
Was the thing I dumped my mana into. But I feel like the ones he talked about were just better.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that mono green list.
They even added Citizen Tactics, which is a card that I didn't even think of when it first came out.
What's that card?
Citizen Tactics is 1 green, and then it has a strive cost for. No, it's 2. It's 1 and a green, and then strive is a green extra for each thing that you target.
Okay.
Your things get +2/+2, and they can tap to fight for a turn. Or +1/+1/+1. That's what it is. But still, they can fight. So if you have giant creatures, they can fight the smaller creatures and just wipe the board. It's just great removal for green, which they normally wouldn't have. Creature removal just doesn't come to mono green aside from fighting. That's about it.
That seems really good.
So, I mean, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm playing it in my decks.
I'll say, is that going to be I feel like some of these cards are going to be added to your commander deck.
Yep.
Like as soon as your hands
right into the beats.
Yeah. That's why you Commander players, you got to keep track of Standard, because Standard's got a lot of good stuff coming out. Every set has got something that you really need to
And you see interactions
make note
that
of.
new interactions are always good to see.
Yeah.
That's what is nice about having pretty much a mono competitive casual player. I'm gonna call you a mono casual player.
Mono casual.
You're mono casual.
Mono casual.
No, you're only casual.
Strictly casual.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I do play competitive, but most of the time it's these guys innovating.
We're the Chapins of the group.
And every once in a while, I hone. Not really very well.
Homer's a owner. Yeah.
Anyways, but
I add things for my flavor.
when we were living together, we would back in college when we had bunk beds. We would get in bed, look at the spoilers, and be like, "Okay, how do you feel this card?" And we would just talk about all these really weird interactions.
Kind of what we do here. Kind of a little
Yeah,
bit.
Kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah. And we'll be doing
Very
that,
much like that, actually.
We'll be doing that more once we get spoilers.
Once we see spoiler season.
Trust us when we say the episodes will not be that long. We will separate the spoilers into multiple episodes. When
Yeah,
they,
as soon as we get spoilers, we'll talk about those
Yeah.
cards. Or the cards that we find
What do
interesting.
weekly spoilers?
And then, but yeah, that was something really. Was there any other lists that you thought were really interesting?
I mean, in the top 16 alone, there was a green-white aggro got second. So it was, but it was a normal green-white. There was I don't think there was anything that was new.
No.
Green-white aggro, I always thought was a good deck. I think it's the most neutral of any deck. It's like the dead center. You're not really aligned with any particular plan. It's like not control. It's not really aggro. It is, I guess. But it's about as middle ground as you can get.
Right. No. I really like that deck. I'm surprised.
I think that one. It was the only one of its kind that actually made top 32, though. So I think a lot of it might actually be either the guy who played it was really good at it, or it was really good matchups. I feel like that was probably part of it.
That's probably.
The one thing that I know we talked about was making a green-white deck that used Return to Ranks.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Basically, just like the 2 mana cost creatures,
Voice Resurgence, Fleeceman Lion, Soldier of the Pantheon would get back. Experiment 1.
Precinct Captain.
Precinct Captain, yeah.
So just a bunch of these really good cards that are all listened to, and then you just pump them out, and then you run up against a control deck, kills your creatures, or any deck that is playing kill spells, and pump.
They're out there. Yeah.
Back here.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. But this was just straight. I mean, green-white aggro is a deck that if your opponent's not doing much, if they're kind of sitting back, you just win. But no one really does that. So I think it's good. I mean, obviously it's going to have to make top 2. There's also in the top 8 there was a Naya aggro deck that I was looking at it. I see Naya aggro on a website, and I think it's enchantments or auras hexproof.
Because of,
it wasn't though. It was just.
Really?
It was just straight Naya aggro. It had Burning Tree Emissaries and Locksmith Smiters. It even had some Slaughterhorns. It was just normal. There's nothing new from what I saw.
No, it was mostly...
Maybe the new Red-White Painland was like the only new card in the entire deck.
That's a fair point. There was a lot of...
I don't think that's really something that would set it over the top. I think it's just,
it's just
a deck that did well at the time.
Yeah.
It was just good creatures.
So we saw a few innovations, but then nothing innovations that did a lot with the 2 M15 cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think M15 is going to be a major set though to get your card pool from as soon as Replica rotates.
Yeah. The one thing I noticed more from M15 to M14, playing with it now for at least a couple times, the cards are just better. The cards as a whole between M14 and M15. Every card does something really specific, and it's like drafting a cube, kind of. It's kind of like that, but like just a lower level. I think every card is good. There's no this is an awful card.
No.
Even like Bronze Sable, I think is like the most boring card in the set. It's a
2 cost 2/1.
Yeah, 2 mana 2/1 artifact. But even that has really good merit. Having your deck, you play any deck, it's still good in like a draft or a sealed pull. I mean, in certain situations, but
yeah, I mean, actually, when I think about it, not a lot of decks play cards from M14. I mean, there's a few here and there, but most
other than Mutavault, probably not.
Yeah.
What was like the card? It is 82% of decks.
Yeah,
sure,
but the rest, most of the decks, the rest of them are playing non-M14 cards. It's just like Ravaging Theros.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be the way it's going to be with M15 at all.
Yeah, just I want to see more artifacts. I just want to see someone try Primal Blast and Soul Artifact. I think those are just too good.
I want to see Chief Engineer.
It's not.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Trading Posts, and Trading Posts never really made a big difference in the real Tier 1 meta, but I wish it did. I mean, maybe I'm just wishing these cards do and they won't. Maybe they're another Trading Post to me, but I think they can, certainly. You just need
I think they have potential.
You need to be innovative. That's it.
So we have the tournament this weekend, and so go watch those videos. Just watch the pros play. Watch out for a lot of sleeveless shirts.
Yeah, we watched a sleeveless mirror. We saw a sleeveless mirror on camera.
We don't mean shirts. We don't mean cards. The cards had sleeves.
Yes, sleeveless was Ben Friedman and Andrew Boswell, two of the guys that did really well. Black, white, mid range, and green, white aggro.
Yeah. They're really good guys.
Cool. I remember
really.
those guys, but yeah, the two big. There's 3 big things coming up. I guess we're gonna skip around in the
Yeah, probably. My notes aren't very succinct.
There's 3 things going on that you need to know about this weekend. There's ComicCon in San Diego, really important because there's been a lot of stuff from Mark Rosewater on his Blogatog. If you Google search Blogatog, you'll find Mark Rosewater's blog about. He talks about things that are coming up and things that he thinks about Magic, and people can ask him any question and he'll answer them as long as he deems it worthy. It really depends, but he's talking about he's going to be at the panel. They're going to talk about new stuff coming out. Probably, almost definitely going to spoil a lot of the new from the vault coming out in a couple weeks, and maybe some Cons of Tart gear.
I'm hoping some Cons of Tart gear.
Hopefully.
We hope so.
I mean, at least some pictures. I know last year's Comic-Con or last year's.
Yeah, I think last year's they did just pictures.
They did just pictures of the gods and here's a new border and here's how things are gonna. Some of the interesting things we're gonna be doing.
Which gave us some flavor.
Yeah, but it's more than we know now. So I mean, if you're interested in the future of Magic and what's going to happen and the flavor aspect of it, maybe I think they'll have the panel online somewhere.
Someone will.
Yeah, no one's really posted it yet, but it's going to be up. It's going to be around, so look out for it. Yeah. Also, 2 GPs.
2 GPs on the same weekend.
2 GPs. One is Boston Worcester. It's standard, and then there's GP Taipei, also standard. So you've got 2 opportunities between this Monday and next Monday. We're going to find out a lot about what Standard's going to do, where it's headed.
Especially with Taipei. Where is Taipei?
China.
Okay. That's right.
Around China. I'm not a geographer, but it's around there.
You're better than us, though.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Taipei is China area.
Yeah, it's okay. So we can see some interesting decks from, and also, since there's 2 different time zones, almost complete.
Yeah, you probably could watch both of them.
Live. You go watch live GP.
If you want to grind, if you want to be a grinder and watch both of them at the same time, or different times, I guess, but back to back, then you could.
Yeah. All right. So look forward to those. Definitely, some big things from Magic coming up, especially to see Standard. So we're also now going to move on to some deck ideas we've had about innovation. Really just one deck in particular that one person's been honing on.
Yeah.
This Colin Hart is pretty much our Patrick Chapin.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I don't do very well with deck building. I'm trying to learn. I'm reading Patrick Chapin's book.
I haven't read it. But
yeah, and I'm still awful.
I'm going to write my own. Just kidding.
So why don't you tell us about...
He might write a book.
Yeah, I might write a book.
Look forward to
I have thought about writing a book, but
maybe on shelves.
Different topic. But okay, so I like playing. If you remember,
Soon's relative.
If you remember anything about what I was talking about last week, I like graveyard-based strategies. A wise man once told me that if you control the most zones, you win the game. And I believe that. If you control, for instance, the field, hand, and graveyard, you will win. And I believe controlling the graveyard is big. Having more stuff at your disposal is really important. So Reanimator is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I never actually have. I never did this particular round of Standard, not since Unbarrow Rights was Standard.
Which you miss dearly.
I miss it dearly. Unbarrow Rights was the best. So Reanimator...
I'm surprised you haven't made a modern deck with it yet.
I'm actually thinking about playing it soon in Tron, but that's a different story.
Okay.
So Junk Reanimator... it's not. I mean, I'm trying to innovate it, but it's not unlike what you've seen If you look up Reanimator decks on like APG Top 8 or Brian Brondewin played one in the Star City Open the one time, they're pretty laid out. It's about 45 cards that are the same, and you have like 15 slots to work with, which is actually quite a bit for an archetype. You obviously, its Obsidian's Aid is really the card that makes it go. Stuff like Grizzly Salvage and Satyr Wayfinder can make you fill up your graveyard and get some stuff. The fact that you can pay 5 mana and reanimate an Elspeth was huge.
Or Garrick.
Yeah, and now you have this new Garrick that actually I pulled one last week, so I decided I'm going to play this deck because I want to be the first person that I know to turn 3 reanimate a Garrick, which is possible with this deck. So when we were testing out this deck for a while, we noticed that Garrick kind of just owns the board when he's out there, as long as he's got protection. He owns the board, and it's a really good spell as long as you've got something leading up to it. If you just ramp up to it with nothing on the board, it'll probably not do a whole lot for you. It'll do something. It'll do something immediately, but not a whole lot. So the Reanimator deck is super cool to play. Some innovations like Soul of Innistrad, which has actually been really good in the deck, I think. Being able to pay 5 if you mill this thing and get 3 things back. When you've got good creatures like Sylvan Primordial, Obsidat, Shadowborn Demon, Blood Baron of Viscopa, you've got things that you can reanimate, and they're just super good. So I like the Reanimator deck a lot, and I think it's going to get better as time goes on, at least until rotation. So
I think well.
No, I say when I play tested it, I think what we established to play testing today was that Mono Blue pretty much wipes it.
Does it?
Yeah. It's a rough.
Granted, a few of those.
I knew that going into it. Yeah.
Granted, a few of a bit of that was just maybe misplays on my part and a little bit of mana screw. But overall, I think the blue deck will probably win that match.
Yeah.
But it's a close match every time.
It'll win game 1. We didn't play post sideboard.
This is true.
Post sideboard, I think that you actually have an advantage.
Yeah, that might be true. We never tested it out.
Because we have stuff like Vile Blight, but
that's true. Yeah. So we'll look. But it definitely seems like really good.
It is really good.
It's got good matchups against. I think it's got a great matchup against Mono Black, and it's got a great matchup against Control. Because you can play from different zones, and they can't really deal with that. So beating 2 of the 3 pillars of Standard, that's really the test for a deck. If you want to know if your deck is good enough or not, test it out against the 3 pillars of Standard. At the time right now, we have Mono Black, Mono Blue, and Esper Control. Yeah. If you can beat 2 or 3 of those, you're in good shape.
You are. And since I know a lot of metas are working with red-white burn decks because they're cheaper, it beats red-white burn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how, but it does.
Yeah, I also, now that I think of it, I wanted to innovate the deck a little bit by throwing in Pack Rat. Pack Rat is something that, if I have room for, I don't think any Reanimator deck has done it yet. One thing I noticed playing Reanimator was I have giant stuff in my hand that I don't want there. I'd rather have it in the graveyard. So if I could find a way to profitably discard it, would be awesome. And there's no real way to do that in Standard aside from Pack Rat. Pack Rat is just about the only way to do it.
There's I like it. The nice thing about the deck, though, is that it has enough ramp spells that you can actually play these creatures just straight out.
Yeah.
I mean, some of your reanimate targets with Obsidian's Aid, it's a 5-cost anyways. What's the name of the demon?
Shadowborn.
Shadowborn, yeah. Like that's actually one of the most popular targets, and then it's still 5 cost as well. You can still play that just from your hand.
It's a lot like the Junk Rights deck with you want things that when they enter they do something really good. That's really gonna help your board. Shadowborn Demon does it. Primordial does it. Obsidat does it.
They're all scared.
Even Blood Baron doesn't immediately do it, but it's just so good against a lot of stuff.
Yeah, people are really scared of it. I mean, when you play the Mono Black deck, they can't usually deal with it because Pro Black.
Yeah, Pro Black is just good enough.
Yeah, it wrecks days.
Yeah. I might try Pack Rat. Pack Rat is something that it adds a new dimension to it. When you're playing Reanimator and your opponent knows it, it might actually be the worst thing for them, knowing that you're playing Reanimator, because they focus so much on stopping reanimating that they'll let you do what you want on the board.
Right, it's true.
That is true. I've noticed
it's really hard to stop Reanimator, and I'm a firm advocate of it. I think it's just super good. I've been playing a lot of graveyard strategies lately, and I think they're just good, especially because they're under the radar. I mean, if they ever make it big, they're gonna get hated out pretty hard probably because Graveyard is the easiest thing to hate. But the fact that right now they're under the radar, I think now's the time to play some kind of Reanimator deck or some kind of Dredge or something. And, I'm proud to be part of that.
Oh, yeah.
So.
All right. Well, that's one deck that you should maybe, if you want to test it out.
If you have the pieces for it, certainly. I mean, Standard's cheap. Standard's cheap right now. So
it is. The other day we were looking like online, and because of how healthy Standard is, like how so many different decks are doing well, like the most a card is $20, which granted is expensive for a lot of people out there, but compared to what Standard used to be, so much better. Back when even like about a year ago, today, like right now a year ago, you had cards were like $30, $40 in Standard. Voices were like $50 at one point. Yeah, they were expensive.
Yeah, they were maybe even more than that, but that was probably for modern reasons. It was never a huge thing in Standard.
So the only cards I think that are more than 20 are the ones that are in Modern too, which like Mutabolts. Mutabolts have gone down a little bit. Same with Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
So those are both really expensive. Maybe they might be actually over 20, but still, they're cheaper than they were at one point. So if you want to get into Standard, maybe buy the cards now, and then
M15 is worth the investment. It's definitely worth it.
I think so a lot of these cards are probably going to be the key cards for some decks in the future.
And I think Standard's going to slow down. I think that we're ready for a slower Standard, and getting those cards I think is good.
Yeah, especially with going to Tarkir. Tarkir just seems like it's going to be a plane that's full of big dudes.
I think it's going to be slower, partly because of the Liliana Vess Liliana Vess making it in, and Liliana of the Veil not making it in.
Yeah.
And that may be a theory, maybe proven, but the word is that Liliana of the Veil was supposed to be in Standard, but then the guys that R&D just thought at the last second they realized it's way too good, so they had to pull it out and need to put something in there. Liliana Vess was a safe bet because even at its best, it was Standard when Miracles were Standard, and it can -2 and put a card on top. So yes, it was legal at the same time. By the time it was Standard, it was legal at the same time as Miracles, and that is the best it's going to be, I think. And the fact that it wasn't even played in Tier 1 decks then, it's a safe bet. Put it in Standard. It's going to be great for drafts and stuff, and it's Planeswalker, and everyone's going to like having it, but it's not going to make a huge difference in Standard.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
That's why they did it. So, slower Standard is the point I'm trying to make. 3 mana Liliana is too good. So.
Agreed. All right. So we're going to move on now. I think we're going to skip the one discussion until hopefully Jordan gets back.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of like
the other side
of the debate. Argument. Yeah, it's like I'm just kind of curious to hear the conversation.
Yeah.
So we're going to skip down to where Erik actually used to be involved.
This is where I get to be involved and stop just drinking tea on camera.
Yeah. So no way are we related or affiliated with Snapple.
We just love it.
Snapple.
Oh yeah, they do.
We love it. Interesting facts, like the dots on the domino are called pips.
Anyways,
Dolphins love jazz. I was like, I didn't know.
Yes, interesting facts. So we're going to talk about
24 rabbits made 2 billion rabbits in Australia in just 6 years.
Oh, hey, he's back. Okay, we're gonna.
He's back to the topic.
I swear these
just
are magic
6
related.
years.
I swear these are magic related conversations.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right, so we're going to
Reading.
Hey, Erik.
It's a lot of bunnies.
Erik,
All right,
come
go
on.
ahead.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to move on to a discussion on Modern Masters.
Modern Masters.
And the question is, was it a success?
We have two sides. I guess we're going to have two sides of a debate here.
Yes.
Was Modern Masters a success or not?
I think it might be more just like you talk about it, and we'll try to pose like devil's advocates.
Yeah.
Is that good?
I think it was a success.
Okay, you can get on his side. I'm just...
Notice I didn't say for whom. I didn't say who was the successor of this. It was... Okay, I'll just get into it.
Okay.
When Modern Masters was created, and it was spoiled to the masses, the first thing that came into people's mind was, I want to play Modern, but I can't afford it. And I don't have access to the cards because they're so old and they're so expensive. Mm-hmm. And everyone looks at Modern Masters as a way for not only getting the cards, but making the cards cheaper and getting a hold of them. The fact that it is a limited print run changes things a little bit. The people who were super smart maybe saw this coming. Especially if you don't know, Magic stock is a huge thing. every card has its own stock, goes up and down. Modern is a format that people wanted to play. It was fun. Wizards wanted to find a way to get people to play it. So Modern Masters came out. It had the best cards in Modern, Tarmogoyf, notably, Dark Confidant, Vendilion Clique, the whatever.
Cryptic Command.
Cryptic Command.
Oh, that was in it. I heard about that.
Cool. So, and if you know literally anything about business, the business model is that these guys they went to business school or they had business training of some sort of business training. These two had business training. What I know about business is supply and demand, which I think everyone knows about. Supply and demand.
Economics 101.
The basics being, if you have more supply and less demand, then the price will go down, and vice versa. If you have less supply and more demand, the price is going to go up. So what Wizards did here was create a situation where there was more supply available, which people would think, great, that means the price is going to go down, and there's going to be more out there, which is great. But what maybe Wizards saw coming, but we didn't, was that Modern Masters would create a situation where people wanted to play Modern, and more people would want to join because now we think it's more accessible, and they want to be part of this Modern phenomenon, be a Modern Master, if you will. So what happened was the demand, rather than stay the same, which is what we think might have happened, it also went up. And this is a situation where they're kind of racing. The price is going to matter. It's going to depend on what's going up faster or what ends up being higher. So what we're seeing now is, because Modern being such a popular format, the demand is going up higher than the supply is, because it's so limited and people want to join up. So the point of the matter is, it was a success, I believe, because Wizards had a plan in mind that they knew darn well that it wasn't going to reduce the price, but it was going to create a situation where more people would want to play. And they're still making more money. They have created a product that people wanted to buy. It was a success because more people play Modern now than there were before Modern Masters.
Yeah.
And that's why it was a success.
Okay, so it's not a success in that cards are cheaper like we wanted. Well,
it was even a success because there's more of them around now. I can guarantee you there's a ton more Tarmogoyfs out there than there were before because they were printed. I mean, obviously, you saw people pull them.
Right, yeah. So
I agree there's more supply. My thoughts that it was an epic failure by Wizards is, there's more demand, but now Tarmogoyf's double the price, so it is half as accessible as it was before.
Depends on your definition of accessible.
I have got $100. I could buy a Tarmogoyf last year. I cannot buy a Tarmogoyf this year.
Right.
I can buy the bottom half of a Tarmogoyf.
But you can buy Modern Masters packs, and in theory, maybe pull a Tarmogoyf.
Or I could give more money to Wizards in packs and pull dollar rares out of Modern Masters, which is all you're going to get anyway.
Right.
Most likely.
Yeah, that's true. Also note that there were a lot of commons and uncommons that the price did go down, that you couldn't get before.
That's true.
Path to Exile.
Path to Exile went down in price. Relic of Progenitus is another one that I remember was really expensive.
Electrolyze was
We had some
lightning in the set.
No.
But there were some. I'm saying that as a whole, Modern is more accessible now than it was.
So
the cards are there.
Accessible in what capacity is my question. Accessible just in sheer numbers, absolutely.
And part of this, we can get into another debate about superstores driving up the price. There's some theories that Channel Fireball and Star City Games drive up the prices because they know they can. I don't know about that, but they might not. I'm not at liberty to say.
The theory is that those two stores buy up all of one card, like for instance the Beta Duel lands, and so they buy them all up. So they have them all, so they get to say, oh, we have, basically kind of like a monopoly on the card.
So Tarmogoyf was probably maybe a result of that.
Yeah.
That it was a card that, yes, there were more out there, but they maybe bought them all.
But at the same time, we now have more people playing Modern. And then I think that's what you're trying to say is that's part of what makes it successful is that people are playing Modern.
It was a success in several levels. I don't think it was really a failure in any capacity.
You can't tell me the price wasn't a failure.
The price was definitely a failure.
Price was an absolute failure.
A failure to me would indicate that there was a goal that was not met.
And so
Right, to drive the prices down and make it more accessible for the players.
That was never necessarily a goal.
The goal was
people thought that.
The goal being more accessible to the players, I think would have to include price.
It
and
does
saying
include
it's
price.
saying
It's
it's
a
a
factor.
success by doubling the price of the cards is absolutely not a success in my eyes.
What you need to understand is that Wizards has no control of the price of cards. They put the cards out there, and people determine what the cards are worth.
Right, but they can also print it again,
Right.
Yeah.
which
and they
will fix the price.
I mean,
Right.
we've talked. There's been rumors about having a second Modern Masters, maybe next year, maybe the
Modern
year after.
Masters too. But are they going to print the same cards again?
No.
No. It's not going to be this.
We'll see some.
If they just released another run of Modern Masters, I feel like we'd all just be happy with
Because
it.
they might do that.
But then again, isn't that causing another problem that more Modern Masters, people will want to jump in, and it's not going to solve anything.
You're going to see this time you're going to see the supply run more than the demand.
Right.
Because there aren't that many more people left to bring into Modern.
Right.
If they're going to jump ship to Modern, they probably can.
Modern's a fun format, and I feel like Modern Masters really it just brought people together. It was something that it wasn't.
And it was fun to
maybe
draft.
maybe it wasn't just the set.
Good.
I mean, just the set itself was just kind of a bridge to people saying, this Modern thing may be something that's catching on. It wasn't that huge. It wasn't that huge when Modern Masters was released. It was, or at least thought of, I guess. It was like Wizards' baby, Magic's little baby that they're taking care of and raising. And now it's a monster, quite frankly.
Modern.
Yeah, Modern's a monster. So,
So
but it's fun.
I think the only way they can actually make Modern more accessible is honestly fetch lands.
Yeah.
Which, hopefully
reprint fetch lands.
That would be lovely.
That is what's going to make Modern more accessible.
And I posed a question. I said earlier about Blog and Talk and Mark Rosewater asking him questions. I've asked him 3 questions so far. So far, no answers. But my questions tend to the only answers I can get are ones that are like super spoilers that he can't really answer. I'm assuming. The most recent one was I noticed Wizards likes to reprint cards in standard sets to make the price go down. And most of the time it works, if not all the time, in standard sets.
Yeah.
Notably, Mutavault in M14, the price was $40, $50 at the time, and they wanted people to have Mutavaults. Thoughtseize in Theros, it was $80. It is now $20, if that, $15.
Scavenging Ooze at one point.
Scavenging Ooze, that was never actually Modern.
No, but it was vintage.
Modern legal.
It was vintage.
And I think Legacy legal too. Yeah, it was Legacy.
But yeah, that's what I meant. Legacy.
And also in M15, you have Court of Calling and Urborg, 2 cards that Court was 30 and Urborg was 40 or something like that. They weren't necessarily like the best cards, and maybe Wizards felt like they were overpriced. I asked Mark Rosewater if he thinks that they're ever going to do that with the Modern staples, the Tarmogoyfs, the Dark Confidants, the Vendilion Clicks, the Cryptic Commands. If they're going to try that, and I've yet to get an answer, but I feel like they can't really draw the line on it. I feel like they need to do that at some point. If they want people to have these cards, they need to print them again, or find a way to intervene with these superstores that are driving the price up. That needs to happen. Or they could just not do that and just let Magic continue the way it is, which is still fine. I feel like it's gonna grow, but certain people aren't happy. So.
Yes.
I am one of those people as far as price is concerned.
Right. So that's why I think Modern Masters was a success. Post in the comments if you think Modern Masters was or was not a success.
Yeah, let us know what your opinion was.
Yeah.
Or
if you just don't care. If you don't care about Modern, if you just want to play Standard or Commander or whatever.
be like, are you Erik? Are you Hong? Are you?
Who do you agree with the most?
I'm very middle ground.
It requires me giving like an opinion about something. All right, so we go to the next topic. This is what we're going to go back to Erik now.
Yeah.
So recently, the Duel of the Planeswalker 2015 game came out, and so far I haven't played any of it. Have you played any of it?
Not at all.
You played a little bit.
I played a little bit of it.
He bought it and has almost beaten it. And so we're going to talk about how that game's improved over the earlier versions. This is like the 5th one they've done.
5th one? I think 4th.
This is 5.
Is it 5? Okay,
This is 5.
2010, 2012, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
11, 12, 13,
that would make
14,
sense.
15.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
5th one.
I am.
This is number 5.
All right. So, and I'm pretty sure you've bought every single one. So
I
far.
have bought and I have played every one.
I don't think I bought last year's. Or the year before that. I think I bought
I think
2.
got the
last
demo
year's was
for
good.
last
Last
year.
year's was a good one.
Last year's was good. I liked what they
You
did
get a
last year.
scavenging use. You
Right.
get it.
So
Okay, the promos this year suck.
The promos were bad. Everyone can agree on that. They weren't very good.
all right. So
As compared to Oh, a prime time? Yeah!
I don't
Oh,
even
yeah.
remember what the promos were.
This year?
They were that.
They're souls.
Soul of
Oh.
Ravnica and Soul of Zendikar, I think.
Yeah, it's not even the good souls.
Ravnica seems most playable. Ravnica is a good one.
Really? I
but-
thought you thought that.
No, I think Ravnica is most playable.
But anyways,
Anyways,
so I'm just gonna ask you some questions.
Yeah,
Tell us about it.
All right.
And what do you think has been the biggest improvement over previous years?
Biggest improvement?
Yes.
The ability to make your deck from scratch.
Okay.
However, that was something that people have called for years past.
Hmm.
And Wizards has always said, if you want to build your deck from scratch, and if you're that hardcore a player, go to Magic Online. That's what
So spend more money.
that's your platform for
so
this.
give us
Buy more cards.
That's your platform for this. So, and Duels was always here's a beginner tool, teach you how to play.
Right. But it's just interesting because, I mean, if you're going to release a version every year, it doesn't seem like it'd be the
Yeah,
best way to
you
do
would
it.
think, oh, here's beginner. Every year you make a one for players who'd like to have fun.
Right.
The game's not fun.
It's
If
not-
you're looking for a game to have fun, the game's not fun at first. I love the game now that I've played and I've unlocked 85% of the
Also,
cards in the
there's
game.
a way to unlock the whole game. It's like
I've unlocked every card but the premium, at least one of.
I think you can.
I'm not paying the $28 to unlock all the premiums.
That's what I was going to say.
There are 14 premium packs that you would need to buy to get all the premium cards. I'm not going to do that. I'm not paying $38 for this game. I'm paying $9.99.
Right.
Was the $9.99 worth it for the game?
If they fix the interface, absolutely. The interface is
It's kind of
bonky and
Bonky.
heavy
Bonky.
and
bonky.
Bonky.
it's just a grind.
I don't think I've ever heard
The
of that
whole
one.
game is a grind.
it's a bonky grind.
Bonky one.
But
Alright.
the thing that always got me with
Once
that,
you get into the game, it plays lovely, except for the timer.
The timer needs some
If
work.
you want
The
want
timer
any
needs
time to
work.
think, stop the timer every time.
Yeah.
Attack all is nice.
Attack all is good.
Attack all is nice.
That's
I
a
saw
nice addition.
I saw that
That's
when
a
you were-
nice button.
I saw when you were playing, like, that makes like I remember when we were playing old games and we get gazillions of tokens. You'd be like,
I also haven't unlocked the Eldrazi cards in the game. I would love me a card. I play Eldrazi.
the order of resolution and being able to respond to things on there is pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like
It's rough.
I feel like there's got to be a judge call at some point in that game that like the game itself can't even do. That's what I think. Like if they get enough cards in there, they probably don't have enough in this version.
There are
Eventually-
985 cards in the game.
Eventually, there's going to be something that they can't do. I don't know.
I believe I've found that every time I've thrown the controller playing
Yeah.
that game.
I would like to know what you think. Do you think that a beginner player can pick this up and learn how to play?
Yes. Yes, I do. The tutorial will teach you very well. I played through the tutorial. It was a mistake for me who knows how to play. If you don't know how to play the game, it's great.
so if you do not play the game, just skip the tutorial.
Yes. Unless you want the achievement.
Achievements are nice.
Well, then we all have to play it.
Yeah. That's the only reason I play it.
I know.
I mean, it's no
that's,
Last Airbender, but
that's how I.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's no
my
way.
other complaint. They gave both Jace and Garrett voices. I don't like them having voices.
Well, they're going to eventually have a voice in the Magic movie.
If the movie's about them,
I would assume.
I don't think it's about them.
It's got to be about Jace, right?
Garrett's
I don't-
killing people.
I don't think it's about. I don't
Garrett's
think
killing people. He's a boss. He's the ultimate villain now.
there was a video that they released of him like making.
thanks,
grunting noises.
Liliana.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I think
thanks,
Bolus and
Liliana.
Garrett should team up. Super team.
Bolus.
Okay, the game's story
Team
also
Bolus
very
Garrett.
good. The story, there's a story to Magic. What?
That's a new thing that they're doing storylines in core sets,
Yeah,
which people like. Mostly people are
Yeah,
enjoying the stories.
Generally, I
easily-
like it.
I mean, we got like what Bolus. It kind of really started like Bolus set. I mean, it's not like it was like a set forth storyline, but kind of give you some like
Was that last year?
No, it was 2 years ago.
It was 2
We
years
have a
ago.
poster behind us that has a Bolus head on it with 2013. So
yeah, that was that one.
can't see it with glare.
What was 12? Was it
12 was like no, it didn't have anything really.
No, 12 had no story. It was
Gideon was
you
the first one.
play through and kind of do things.
Yeah.
And 11 really did not at all.
No, 11 was the only second kind of did like
Elves. Elves was the good deck
Magic
there.
core set. So, but yeah, that was
Yeah,
Alright.
The game is good. Yeah, it's what we,
The game,
it-
it's Worth the $10 buy.
It's good, but
not worth the premium.
It's good, but it's
buy.
bonky.
It's good.
It's bonky, and we know that.
Have you played?
They'll fix it. They will
fix
it.
What is the What is the gimmick this time? Like, there's been other ones like two-headed giant.
There's no gimmick.
There's no gimmick.
There's no gimmick.
No drafting. No.
There's no draft. There's no plane chase. There's no arch enemy. There's no two-headed giant.
But
those are the 4 past ones. There's nothing in this one. The gimmick is, hey, you can build your own deck.
You can build your own
from scratch. You just have to open packs to do it.
I did like from playing the demo that it started with I can pick literally any color combination and they'll give me a deck.
Yeah.
Like, from the very beginning, I got to choose my own path, and that's really cool.
Smash and burn.
For me,
red, green, beats.
I mean, I know you were playing mono blue. You were playing something blue.
I played mono blue earlier. I built mono blue.
And I like blue. I like black green.
Beats.
I like black green and graveyard stuff. And they gave it to me. I know that's what I wanted, and they gave me what I wanted.
I went through a stage in my life where I'm not sure what I like anymore.
I like green mixed with other things. Beats.
If you know what Goose wants, post in the comments.
Yeah, I used to be a control player, but lately I'm like, I don't want to think this much.
Yeah.
And I don't like thinking at all.
If you think you should suck it up and play
And
mono
worms and dragons and beats.
red, if you think Goose should suck it up and just play mono red, just post comments. So I'm going to later on.
Oh, mono red's good. I like mono red.
As we discussed last time, mono red, it's a viable deck. 174 straight round wins.
It's all red. They're all dead.
That's pretty much it.
Red deck.
All right.
I just made that up.
Do you have anything
That
else? Do you have anything else on the agenda?
That's all we. That's all I have on the.
So do
agenda.
we want to finish up with some cracks and packs?
Yeah, we got some packs to crack. 2 hours ahead of schedule. So here we go.
Okay, well,
What time is?
I don't know how long we've been.
How long have we been? Tell us in the
Well,
comments.
an hour. Tell us in the comments how long we've been talking.
here we got
We'll figure it out after. Don't worry about it.
The person who's closest.
So pack number 1, Magic
Favorite name on the
2015.
You shut. Don't look at me like that. I want to blow on the next one. Can I blow on the next one?
Sure can.
What we got?
Okay, this one, card number 1, we got Welkin Turn, 2 cost 2/1 flying.
I like that card.
Solid.
Not bad. Flyers
Flyers.
win.
Yeah.
Blue beats.
I didn't
Blue is
talk
a good
about
color to get into anyway.
I didn't talk about last
Blue
Friday.
beats.
Last Friday I played Flyers and I won with the sealed deck.
That tends to be.
Welcome Turn was good.
It's never my philosophy going into it. It's always my philosophy going into
It's
it.
always this
Blue, white, Flyers.
We tried to return to Ravnica the one time. You got Blue White Flyers.
Blue, white,
Yeah.
Flyers.
Didn't even know that was an
wins.
archetype. Return to Ravnica. It is. Turns out.
It really
Second
is.
one, we have Crowd's Favor. It's a 1-cost red Convoke. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike till the end of the turn.
Red beats.
Potentially a free spell.
Potentially free.
Yeah. I mean,
It's free.
It's next Midnight Guard. It's a reprint from
I guess-
Innistrad.
I guess we could do is you could
Dark Ascension, was it?
Dark Ascension, that's it.
Yeah.
Innistrad block is what I
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we know you, man.
3-cost white. 2 and a white, 2/3 frame. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, untap Midnight Guard.
I'm probably not playing it. It's not beats.
No.
It's not a terrible frame for sealed.
It's actually, I didn't think about it.
In sealed, it's good.
In sealed, it's not a bad frame. It
Sorry.
kills bears.
It's
Man.
Yeah.
kills bears.
When I think about it, it's actually
It doesn't have the beats I need.
When I think about it, it's actually not bad with Convoke because it's like get another creature, like attack with
Yeah,
it, get a creature, then you can untap.
It's a free mana, I guess.
It could be. I mean, it's got potential. It's still not good.
Okay, so next we have Research Assistant, which is a 2-cost, 1 and a blue, 1/3 frame. Pay 4, tap it, draw a card, then discard a card.
That's not terrible.
I hate
It's
it.
a 2-cost, 1/3 frame, which is good enough in some cases.
If you've got nothing, if you're
It's
drawing lands and you need something to play, you're not gonna mind losing a little bit.
It's your 23rd card.
Next, it's Black Shadow Cloak Vampire, 4 and 1 black, 4/3 frame. Pay 2 life, and it gains flying until the end of the turn.
I like it.
Evasion.
Not bad.
Evasion
Playing
for cost.
Evasion.
It's a black card.
It's beats.
through and through.
It's enough beats.
It's not a bad card.
It's good stuff for a cost. So.
Undergrowth Scavenger, 3 and a green. It enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards.
Could be
It's
good.
a card for me.
So you play that in your Steel Judge
Yeah,
deck,
after
right?
rotation.
It's a card
After
for
rotation,
Dredge.
it can go in a dredge deck.
It could replace some
I
things.
played Imperial Lease, yeah, it was
It
good.
could replace
It's
some
a
things.
middle pick.
Okay, Crippling Blight, 1-cost black, enchant aura. Enchant creature, it gets a -1/-1 and can't block. Which
Cool.
is very
Helps you
relevant.
get your beats in.
Very relevant as far as
Beats.
Shield's concerned. Then Standard
It's my
Evolving
fault.
Wild, sack it to go get
Great card.
a basic land.
Also, sometimes people get this and they don't play it. Play it.
I play a nanny deck. Even if it's mono color, play that card.
Pulls a land out.
It's mana fixing, and it reduces the probability that you'll pull a land later in the game off the draw.
It does.
It color fixes if you ever play more than one.
It is unhelpful when you are wanting that last land to get cast a card, and it's like, oh.
If you want perfect curve out, that's bad. That's it.
Next one is Living Totem, 3 and a green, 4 cost, 2/3 Convoke, and when it enters the battlefield, you may put a +1/+1 counter on another target creature.
So not the Living Totem. Bad by itself.
Bad by itself.
Bad by itself. But could get creature.
Next is Broodkeeper, starting the uncommons, 3 and a red, 2/3 frame. When an aura becomes attached to the Broodkeeper, put a 2/2 red dragon token with flying onto the battlefield that has fire breathing. Pay 1 and get +1/+1.
That's pretty good.
That's actually really good.
I like it. I like dragons.
I didn't even know that card existed.
I forgot about it. I got beat by that card last round of our pre-release.
So was that the red guy that had it?
Yeah.
Would this
he was playing
push you to red, though? Would this push you into red?
If you got enough enchantments. Like, honestly, it was good because the guy had basically Boros enchantments.
It doesn't seem as good in a draft.
It doesn't seem as good in a
Not a
draft.
draft.
It
Sealed.
seems decent in
It's
sealed.
It has potential in sealed if you get the right card.
tier 2 or 3 constructed.
Yeah, I would say if you're playing crap constructed, it's good. If you're playing non-top tier, I should say, not crap.
So tier
That's
2 or
not
3.
a nice way to say it.
Okay, so next we have Diffusion
Spend the
Sliver.
show there.
Diffusion Sliver, 2 cost 1 and a blue, 1/1 frame. Whenever a sliver creature you control becomes a target of a spell or ability, then an opponent controls counter that spell, or unless they pay 2.
It's pretty good.
It's a sliver. I like it.
Save the slivers.
Yes. I think.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's a 2+1/1, yes.
It's another.
But
We
sliver.
talked about
It's
this.
still a sliver.
Talked about the sliver deck and how good cording out different slivers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be something that you might want.
We have Circle of Flame, which is a big reprint. One in a red enchantment. Whenever a creature,
Stop it.
Excuse me.
Are you done?
Sorry. I'm done.
Are you done?
whenever a
Finish
creature without flying attacks you or a planeswalker you control, Circle of Flame deals 1 damage to that creature. So
Okay. Ouch and tokens.
I'm not playing it.
it really deters weenies from swinging.
Yeah.
It deterred my beats.
And the next one is a pretty big disappointment. The rare in the pack is Stormtide Leviathan.
Storm Caliban. Yeah.
In sealed, it would push me to play blue.
Yes.
I like it. And sealed, that's a beat stick.
It's
I would
it's
totally
funny
play
that you say that. I had that in my sealed poll last Friday
And didn't play.
and did not play it.
Why?
Did you not put the deck?
I got like a 3rd place. I went 4-1. I got 9 packs for
Did you
free.
play blue?
That's fair.
I played blue. I didn't play it.
That's
We
fine.
also had a Jace.
I didn't have
I like
I had Liliana. I did not play
It's
it.
a- It's a
Didn't play
big beat stick.
If
I
you're
still
okay
play
with
it.
if you're okay with big costing blue spells.
No, that was your 1 rare pack.
Yeah, it's true.
That was
Yeah,
your 1
foil.
rare deck. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a 1 rare deck. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, foil.
We didn't mention Stormtide Leviathan is an 8 cost, 5 and 3 blue, 8/8 frame with Island Walk, and all lands are islands in addition to their other types. And creatures without flying or Island Walk can't attack.
Lock it down.
It stops your opponent from attacking, and is a giant beat stick.
It locks
that
down the
gets
field.
through.
Locks down the field, and it is unblockable if it's on the field.
So we have a foil.
I like
And
it.
we did get a foil,
Unless they destroy all their own lands.
unless that
Correct.
happens. And have a creature on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
That's pretty big stipulations. Or an Elspeth, I guess.
Sure.
Next one, we got a foil. It's the Paragon of Eternal Wilds, 3 and a green, 2/2 frame. Other green creatures you control get +1/+1. And pay a green, tap it. Another target green creature you control gains trample until the end of the turn.
The Green Lord of the cycle.
That's going in.
Playable.
It's playable.
It's going in the binder.
It's, I could say, a possibility for elves maybe, but it's a human druid.
Yeah. I mean, pumping a bunch of green dudes is fine if you're playing elves, I suppose, but it's not
And
really.
and seal
It's-
spread.
It's good. There's better choices. That's what it comes down
On a
to.
side note, it does look a lot better that the bottom is foil now, and it's
Yeah, that looks pretty sweet.
Oh, that does look nice.
that looks pretty awesome.
That looks nice.
That
Eric,
I like
it.
Eric hasn't opened any M15 packs.
He also
so.
likes shiny.
I
things.
haven't. I like shiny
As
things.
we all do, I'm sure.
And then we got a swamp and a beast
All
token.
right. So what would you take from
Yeah,
this pack?
what would you take from it?
That's funny. This. What would you take?
I mean,
from this
obviously, Stormtide's bomb.
Obviously, Stormtide is a bomb in this pack.
It does cost 8 though. Is the problem.
To be honest, I'm between the Broodkeeper and Welkin Turn.
You said draft the right deck.
What's the shiny thing? What's its
Here,
name?
gone.
The Green Lord.
Makes your green.
I'm playing the Green Lord. I'm
Because
playing
you want
Paragon.
shiny. You want an all shiny sealed deck, right?
Yes.
It's not the shiny. It's the
all shiny.
It helps.
Or draft
It
deck.
helps
You could.
green things.
You
It
have an all
helps
shiny
green
draft
things.
deck. You could.
It's a good beat.
You'd have to have. Let's see. You could get.
If you get lucky.
If you got extremely lucky, you could get 24,
Yeah.
Hey, now.
Which is enough.
which is
Hey
nothing.
now. You know.
It's never happened.
I'll play 2 colors. I'm helping half my creatures.
5 color foils, right?
Yeah, 5 color foil.
That's a real draft deck, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Provided every pack has a foil in it, and you
And they pass.
And
get
you
past
get
it.
every one of them.
Yeah.
This is a horrible challenge to everybody watching.
Remember, after
If
5
you-
color foils.
If you can
Comment.
do it and take a video of it, we will mention you
Well,
in the air.
that means that like
It will be the weekly challenge.
Record every draft that you have from now on, and
yeah,
send us the video of the one that has all foils in it.
we'll do something for you.
We'll do something notable.
It's okay, just draft with a GoPro on your chest.
Yeah.
yeah. That's fine.
I feel
I'll do that from now
that's against the rules. I feel like that's might get an ECI ban for that or something.
Possible.
Well, only
Why?
just don't do sanctioned tournaments.
All right. Just don't sanction any drafts. All right.
I feel like if I'm playing in a sanctioned tournament, I'm not going to play 5 color shinies.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're raising good points here.
That is a good.
All right,
Okay,
so
that being
Brood-
said, my first pick in this is definitely... Actually, I'm going to kick out the Broodkeeper because I didn't see any enchantments that I think would come back
There
here,
aren't that many.
except for one that wasn't good.
The only enchantments really in the set are ones that hurt you or your opponent.
Pressive Raise. Well, it's not entirely true. The guy
Okay.
played a guy.
There are some good ones.
There are some really
there
good
are a lot
ones.
of ones.
And it
Being
is
lost
possible
right
to make
now.
it is possible to make that into a deck like in sealed. Like that is Burrow's Enchantments is a legitimate
Sure.
deck in sealed.
And my thought with this, though, I think I want Welkin Turn here. And I think that because Stormtide Leviathan's going to come back.
That's
you
probably
think, you
true.
think it's gonna
You
come
think
back?
it's coming
Yeah.
back?
I think it's coming back.
Pass it to me. I'm taking it.
I don't think so.
Well, that's
you.
Yeah, it's you.
If I'm passing
Are you
it
ever
to
playing
Eric, I'm
sanctioned
taking
tournaments?
Uh,
Sanctioned
Stormtide.
draft.
I guess it depends on how much
I
I
might
know.
drag
I
you
draft
down.
in a sanctioned draft every week, man. I tell you
I
what,
might-
I'm taking that Stormtide.
I might drag you to a few when we live
Big
together,
Stormtide.
but besides that,
It depends on how much I know about who I'm playing with, I guess.
I'm drafting Stormtide, and I'm hoping that I get 5 Elvish Mystics, and I draft a really sweet green blue deck.
This is pack 1.
It's only potential from here on. You pick that.
Pack 1. I'm probably taking that
It's
Leviathan.
the rules of
Wait,
draft. You draft
let's
red,
say-
right?
let's say
Bombs
Leviathan
from
Leviathan
the-
isn't there. Say Leviathan isn't there.
Say Leviathan isn't there.
Leviathan isn't there. What do you take?
Welcome
Turn.
That's a no-brainer.
Okay.
Welcome turn is
Welcome
super good.
All
I'll tell you
right.
that from
All
experience.
good. Welcome turn. Doesn't
Doesn't die in a circle of flame. Boom.
Eric's taking-
Welcome turn.
Although I'm not going to lie, I think Circle
It's-
of Flame is
I
also
like blue.
viable.
It is
I
violent.
like blue aggro. It's apparently a thing.
I played it last Friday, and
I
it was
did.
awesome.
I played it.
I used to play all 4 colors that weren't blue.
If it has
Yep.
blue or white in
Or black.
Invasion, I'm probably
Three
going
colors.
to favor it.
That's 3.
It's 3 colors. He played
All
9.
4 except for those 2.
I played Naya.
All right. So we're gonna move on to the next pack.
Can I blow on it? Can I blow on it?
Blow kiss. Oh,
I blew the kiss, but apparently I had to blow it.
whatever.
For real.
For realsies.
Okay, first card in this pack is Void Snare. 1 cost blue, sorcery, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand.
Permanent.
Non-land permanent.
Sorcery.
Non-land permanent.
No,
Sorcery.
Sorcery.
The notable words on there are non-land and sorcery.
Yes.
So slower, but hits more stuff.
Sorcery.
More targets. That's kind of
Not as fast.
Next card in this one is Clear Path.
Which we had in. Did we have in the last? No, it was in
No, it's
I
not.
like that.
different card.
It was a.
The name
This
sounds good.
is,
I don't know cards.
so far, no repeats.
It's not good.
It's Clear Path, 1 cost red, sorcery, destroy target creature with Defender.
No.
So a 1 cost
It's
red.
a hate for that drafted wall deck that
Yeah.
opponents are.
Blow up a wall. Well, you can only blow up one of them.
Still hate.
Still hate. Yeah.
There's no
Still
snap
1 mana
caster.
destroy a dude.
Oh, this card's good.
Next one, Triplicate Spirits, which is a 6 cost 4 and 2 white convoke. Put 3 1/1 creature, 1/1 spirit creature tokens with flying on the battlefield.
It's like Spectral Procession.
It's like
Seems
Spectral
good.
Procession, only not as good.
That's good. But it is great.
Kind of.
It is great for blockers and
It could be good in black-white tokens. With,
flyers.
With Convoke it, I can't see it being terrible.
yeah, you could. You have a lot of dudes, right?
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
Just be
It
free
means
for
it
more.
tap
It just makes more dudes.
Hey,
But you tap. Okay, let's say you pay it for 3.
I don't see it being that big of a
You
deal
have
though,
3 dudes, you get 3 more dudes.
because you have enchantments giving them all vigilance.
Yeah.
So they all attack anyway. And
If they have vigilance, then yeah. If you're playing
Absolutely, they have vigilance.
It's
Absolutely.
decent. It might
Intangible
replace.
just intangible virtue opens up a door for that.
It might replace procession. You know, maybe not. But
I don't think it'll replace
could.
procession. I don't think. Best case scenario, this is free and procession costs 3.
still better.
But next card, it's reprint, Lightning Strike, 1 in a red, 3 damage to target creature or player.
One of the best red spells in Limited.
It's so far the best red spell in this pack.
So for the best,
So far, best
the best
red
red
spell
spell
pack.
we've seen so far,
For sure.
I think. Next one's Titanic Growth. It's a 1 in a green.
Looks bad.
It's an instant. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. In sealed,
Look, it's a pack.
Battle tricks are okay.
battle tricks are very good in sealed.
They're alright.
They
And
remove people's peace of mind once they've seen one.
people tend to think that people can be really dumb
I once
during
tried to
limited formats.
for those all back to back. I was at what 17. I attacked with 1/1, so blocks, and they played 4 at the same time. Those are good.
Yeah.
4 of them.
Yes, he drafted 7 of them.
Mana to
Yes, but I died. Is the point? Those
Yes.
are good in large numbers. Yes.
holy crap.
Like the time I drafted, 7 Defend the Hearth?
Yeah, just fogs.
Yeah, about 7 different fogs.
They're like, I'll just swing out all wins. Like,
They swung all out. I fogged it 6 times till I.
I don't recommend that to anyone, but somehow it worked.
It was funny.
Moving on.
Next one's Witch's Familiar. It's 2 and a black, 3 cost 2/3 vanilla.
Meh,
But it is a pretty little frog.
It's a dude.
dude.
It's
It's
a
a 3 cost
2/3.
2/3.
3 cost 2/3. It's just a frame.
Not bad. It's a frame.
But it's a giant frog. So
It's still just a frame, and the fact that it's a frog just kind of
It
makes
is a frog.
you have to smile.
I like it.
The next one's pretty good. It's one of the enchantments that we were talking about that actually doesn't hurt you. It's Eternal Thirst, which is 1 and a black enchant creature. Enchanted creature has lifelink, and whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, it gets a +1/+1 counter.
So whenever you kill our creatures,
yeah,
maybe.
I've played this a couple times already, and I know it's good. It's just lifelink is great in
This-
races.
yeah.
And
This actually was not played in the deck I was talking about earlier.
Lifelink wins races.
Especially limited. True.
Next one is Netcaster Spider, which is a 3 cost 2/3, 2 and a green. It has reach, and whenever it blocks a creature with flying, it gets +2/+0. So a 3 cost 2/3 frame with reach. When it blocks a flyer, it becomes a 4/3.
Does that kill Storm Breaths?
Yes, it does.
That does kill a Storm Breath.
it reminds me of Karn.
It'll trade with a Storm Breath.
Karn the dude. That when it blocks, it does things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with Karn, he gets small. He gets
He gets plus
He
minus,
gets butt pumped.
he's a bump.
-5/+5.
-4/+4.
Yeah.
0/8.
+4/+, that's right.
It's kind of like that.
He's a zero.
When he blocks, he
Butt
blocks.
pumps is the word.
It doesn't really remind you a little bit of
They call
Karn.
it?
Little butt pump.
Next one's Rot Feaster Maggot.
What's the other way?
Head pump. Rot Feaster Maggot.
Whatever.
5 cost 4 and a black, 3/5 frame, which is important in sealed. 3/5 is a pretty decent frame.
It's a big frame.
And when
That's
Rot Feaster Maggot enters the battlefield, exile target creature card from a graveyard and gain life equal to that card's toughness.
Also can help with a race.
That's a sealed good card. Sealed bomb.
Seems
Not bomb.
would hate it.
I'm gonna lie.
Bomb's a bit.
I'm not a big fan of that card.
I like it.
I don't like it.
Depends
I
on
like
what kind of fatties they're playing.
Yeah, if they're playing graveyard, if they're playing green black, you're just no doubt gonna.
Yeah, but if
So,
they're playing, if they're playing,
If it's in sealed, I like it. Not
I don't
sealed.
like it. I didn't like it.
Nothing else.
Really?
I didn't like it until.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I like it as a sideboard just in case against something. In sealed.
Sure. Maybe I'll bring it in for Cyber,
That's
but in general, I don't like
Just
it.
don't pick it over something that's good.
But yeah.
Next one we got Undergrowth Scavenger, the first repeat from the last pack. The 4 cost, it enters with a +1/+1 counter for each creature in all graveyard. We have Blood Host, which is a vampire. It's a 5 cost 3 and 2 black, 3/3 frame. Pay 1 and a black, sacrifice another creature, and put a +1/+1 counter on Blood Host and gain 2 life.
All right,
So
those are words.
kind of blah, kind of right in the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle.
All right, it's a card.
It's not a first pick.
The
but
thing that
it's-
ruins it for me with this
No,
one
not
is
pick.
it's a 5 cost 3/3 that doesn't have flying and it's a vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way to give it flying.
No evasion.
Although it does have ability. Oh, it's a sacrifice another creature. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, you have to sacrifice another creature to do that.
Yeah, that's.
My question:
in limited, you probably don't have that many.
If it was flipped, if it was like a two cost 1/1, but you paid 5 to do that ability, but it was destroy target creature, and give it a +1/+1 counter.
It's a very different card.
Oh, I would absolutely.
Well, yeah, but it's absolutely. It's not.
It's a different card.
It's
that would be a bomb.
Play it.
Next one's Cone of Flame, which is, I guess, the second uncommon in here. It's 3 and 2 red, sorcery speed. Cone of Flame deals 1 damage to target creature or player, 2 damage to another target creature or player, and 3 damage to a third target creature or player.
It's good.
It is good.
I died to it once. I don't like it, but I know it's good.
So 6 damage for 5. So definitely better than a Lava Axe.
Yeah.
After you've dealt the 1 damage to the player, can you deal the 2 damage and the 3
Does it say
damage?
another target?
It says another target.
It's another
can't.
target.
So you can't.
It's not
the same.
Never mind. Get back.
You have to have 3 targets.
Nothing's better than Lava Axe. How dare you say that?
It's something. How dare you?
Is it you may for the second 2? Or is it you have
No,
to?
you have to do all 3. So you have to.
It's like Decimate.
So you have to have 3 targets.
There've got to be 3 legal targets for this to even be cast.
And 3 damage to a third target creature or player.
Yeah.
A third.
There are older cards that, if you don't know about this, like they're cards that have
meaning
targets. Most notably, Hex is a card that it's an old card that it's a black card that destroys 6 target creatures. But that's great and all, but you have to have 6 target creatures to target. And this is another example of you need these targets to exist to actually play it. You might murder yourself.
I mean, you could do 1 damage to yourself.
You could.
2 damage to a creature.
If there's 1 creature on the board, you can play this card.
Yeah.
But you might have to murder yourself.
Alright, next card.
We have Feral Incarnation, which is a 9 cost, 8 and a green, sorcery speed with Convoke, and you get 3/3/3 green beast creature tokens onto the battlefield.
It's okay. I mean, it's definitely a late game. It's like, have you ever played against that Hunt of the Howl Pact? What is it? I forget what it is. There's a card that's in Theros block that makes wolves, and it can chance things that makes them bigger. Anything that makes a bunch of tokens, pretty good. Pretty good.
Especially, it's a 9 cost, which is too much, in my opinion.
Convoke is the only thing that saves
Convoke
for
makes
me.
it play-
Surprisingly makes it playable.
Convoke
Right, okay.
makes it slightly more
It's
playable.
3 beast tokens.
Here's my thing. This isn't actually not much different than Triplicate Spirits. I mean, it's just it's 3 more mana, but you get 3 3s instead of 1 1s.
With no evasion.
Yeah,
But
in this situation, you are paying 9 for 9 power and toughness, but in that situation, you're paying 6 for 3, but an evasion. So it's essentially the same.
Right. So
In a
that's
way.
you should yeah.
If you count flying as 2 power toughness, I guess.
It probably makes my
Or
cut.
1. Yeah.
It's probably making my deck.
And so you're playing green, so it's not like you're not gonna have you should have some ramp spells. You should have a lot of creature spells. It's
Well,
not like
traditionally, you're going to have more smaller creatures on the board when you play
Yeah.
spirits, as opposed to this.
I think you're gonna have some good stuff. Anyway, what's the next card?
Possibly. Next one, the rare in the pack. We have Garrick Apex Predator.
Done. Found it.
That's my pick 1.
Seems
I
good.
don't believe we know our pick.
Picks.
Ain't bad.
We'll go ahead and read it out anyway.
Oh, foil too. You got that foil.
There's a foil. It's a 7 cost, 5, a black and a green. Comes out with 5 loyalty. It has 4 abilities. First time we've seen that since JTMS.
We don't speak his name. I'm sorry.
The one.
The +1, his first +1, destroy another target planeswalker.
Oh,
That really stinks when your
I
next turn.
like it.
Next turn, you're playing a Planeswalker.
His second +1 is you get a 3/3 black beast token with death touch.
Pretty sweet.
okay.
His -3 is
Yeah,
destroy
it's quite
target
good.
creature and gain life equal to its toughness.
I've seen this card very little, so I'm really liking what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And his -8, his ultimate is target opponent gets an emblem. Whenever a creature attacks you, it gets +5/+5 and gains trample.
Wow.
The first time we've seen, it's like, hey, an emblem. Here you go.
Here you go.
It's
Have it
the
as
first time
Wow.
we've seen. I want you to have this emblem. Oh,
I-
thank you. You're dead.
I like that.
So
If you
What's the loyalty
ultimate-
start at?
5.
It's 7
He's only
7
3
costs, but he
turns
starts
off.
at 5.
7 cost. 5.
So essentially starts at 6.
I want
And
to see
he
this.
has 2 different +1
Yeah.
+1 abilities.
and one of his +1s puts a 3/3 frame with death touch on the battlefield.
The other one destroys
Defends
Planeswalkers.
itself. I mean, no doubt this is the pick, regardless of what the foil is. I don't care
what
the foil is. This
Watch
is
foils like foils, Garrett.
Unless it's
Yeah,
not foil
Garrett,
Garrett, in which case.
Last
then
pack, I'm
weep.
voting a deck around this.
You're drafting.
Or you pick up
I've also
You
drafted
run,
green.
you
If that's pack
you
3.
scoop up your packs and leave the store.
Actually, you can't. Unfortunately, I learned that apparently you can't do that in sanctioned drafts.
Well, I might try it this year. We'll see. I do sanction drafts, so I might.
Okay, but
Oh, no way.
our pick, definitely Garrick, Apex Predator. The foil in the pack, however, Sliver Hive.
Yeah.
The foil Sliver Hive,
It's rare.
It's rare.
which is not legendary. It's just a regular land. Tap to add 1 colorless, or tap to add 1 of any color to cast a Sliver spell. Or pay 5, tap it, and put a 1/1 colorless Sliver creature token onto the battlefield. And activate this only if you control Sliver.
That's a good pack.
That was a good pack.
I'm playing that card though, but I'm playing the Garrett.
I'm taking the guard.
I do believe that
I
Sliver
would-
Hive is probably valuable, though. I mean,
I like.
it
I
sucks
like
if
it
you're,
if I
if you're
see
drafting.
Slivers.
If you're drafting, it sucks you had to get this pack because there's 2 good money cards, probably $20 a piece. You know.
But hey, yeah, at least one $20.
You're gonna take Planeswalker, obviously, because it's gonna do 2 things for you. But
Obviously, because it's a sealed.
if it's sealed, then you're happy. But if,
Okay,
if
let's
it's drafted,
assume the Garrett goes in the pack. What would you guys take?
I would take Erik.
We're assuming Garrett.
He's
I
not
would
in the pack.
I would take him.
So, okay, pack 2.
This pack's got good support for
I would take Erik.
I mean, there's some solid green and black things
I would
in
take
here.
Erik.
What's that?
Half this pack is green and black.
That's pretty funny.
Look at how baller this pack
This
is.
pack is really green and black.
This pack,
Am I correct? There's only 5 cards in the entire pack that are green and black.
5, yeah.
I'll choose Erik.
One's white, 3,
3 of them are red.
3
You
are
got,
red.
You got Jund present here.
and yeah.
So if we're playing sealed, how does this affect the colors you're playing as opposed to our first pack?
Yeah, if you
I'm not playing blue.
you obviously play all your bombs and play Bug.
Actually, if you look back at the first pack,
I only play 2 colors ever, so
I'm
Yeah, that's kind of
still playing. I
adventurous.
drafted green in the first pack. I'm just gonna continue drafting green and black.
usually I assume
I'm
the next pack's
adding a color, or heck, if I'm
Yeah,
playing,
it's-
if I'm playing white, I'm now playing
yeah,
junk.
yeah, that's the thing. Like that's such a good card that it's either I'm gonna splash a color to play it, or I'm gonna ignore my entire first pack and build around this card now.
If
If it's pack 3, I'm building around
It's like I have 7 chances now to whiff on my next 2 packs. I better build a good deck now. So, or is it 5? There's 14 cards in a pack. There's not 15. There's 14. So.
Yeah, when you pull something like
yeah,
if you're planning on like blue white and you pull a Garrett in pack 2, you just kind of
yeah, you just kind of
But you just fonts.
all the commons or something else.
pack 1.
pack 1's right there.
Yeah, on the floor.
All right. Well,
All right, so that's all we have for this week. Look forward to seeing us next week on Monday. Don't know what time. Probably between 7 and 9.
Midnight.
yeah, we'll have a lot to talk about.
We'll be there.
We'll be
Just
talking
wait for
about
us.
those tournaments and the ComicCon, how cool it is, and winks, and inside jokes. We're talking about those too.
Inside jokes. Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, and have a wonderful day.